This is the meeting of the El Centro City Council for Tuesday, October the 1st, 2024. Hard to believe that we are in October and it is hot outside, so we're going through another heat wave, but hopefully just for a little bit more. All righty. So, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Carter,
Present.
Councilmember Oliva,
Present.
Councilmember Garcia,
Present.
Interim Mayor Pro Tem Cardenas Singh,
Present.
Mayor Marroquin.
Present. Councilmember Garcia, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. Councilmember Carter, please lead us in an invocation.
Please bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, I just want to come to you simply saying thank you. I just want to piggyback this morning and just ask, the kids said this morning that we need to pray for cooler weather. So I think that that's going to be our prayer. They said the seasons are confused. So we want you to unconfuse the kids right now, Lord. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
They said the seasons are confused.
Okay. So at this time, we will go into public comments. And before we do that, I would like to read our notice to the public. This is a public meeting. If there's an item on the agenda on which you wish to be heard, you are asked to complete a blue speaker slip and submit it to the city clerk prior to the start of the meeting. Persons wishing to address the council are not required to identify themselves. However, this information assists the mayor by ensuring that all persons wishing to address the council are recognized and also assists the city clerk in preparing the city council meeting minutes. When the item is announced and your name is called by the mayor, please step to the podium and state your name for the record. Unless the mayor extends the time, there is a 3-minute time limit for each public presentation. If you wish to address the council concerning any other matter not appearing on the agenda, you may do so during the public comment portion of the agenda. However, you may not show a visual presentation without review of that material. If you do so, you will be considered out of order. Madam City Clerk, do we have any requests for public comment?
None, Mayor.
None, none in-house, but how about remotely?
None remotely.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so now we move on to presentations and announcements. But before I do that, we have a couple of people in the audience that I would like to introduce and recognize. First of all, we have a foreign exchange student that is with us and is visiting with his host family, with Judge Derek Kwan and his family, Mr. Kieran Hopeful. He is from Germany and he is here during this school year. Is that correct, Kieran? And so Kieran and I will be meeting, and he has some leadership questions for me. So I'll be happy to answer those for him. But you know what I'd like to do is, if you don't mind, come up so that we can take a picture with you. Okay.
Right here.
Oh, right over here, Karen. I'm gonna ask my colleagues to join me.
You ready, Karen? All right. 1, 2. Thank you.
Okay, and then, oh, wait, Karen, because our in-house photographer is also going to take.
Here we go. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
Welcome, congratulations.
Are we hotter than the
Yes.
And next, we have little Miss Valentina Villanueva. And from what I learned from her mother, Jessie, who just became a member of our Friends of El Centro Community Foundation, that she would like to be a mayor when she grows up. So I invited her to come in and to see what it is to, you know. Is she already posing? Oh my God, you weren't kidding, were you? So So colleagues, will you join me in, oh my gosh, do we need a little booster?
I love it.
You know, but, oh my gosh, Valentina, I think you're ready to do it now, you know, so it's like, so.
You might have to come up with you, Madam Mayor.
I know, that's
We're gonna
what.
have to make mini gavels.
Sure, yeah, yeah, that would be great. This is cute.
Perfect.
Hold on. Hold on. Here you go, sweetheart.
Okay.
Can you hold this? All right. let me
Now try
hold
to
the
take it.
gavel.
Now try to take
Yeah,
it.
I know, I
We'll wait for Mom to come for you.
know. No panic. All righty. Oh. All right, little Miss Valentina. When you grow up, I expect to see your banners around town running for election to the city council, okay? So that is so cute. All right, okay. So first of all, we have a retirement recognition for Mr. Henry Cornejo. Mr. Cornejo, would you like to step up to the podium?
Yes.
Well, Mr. Cornejo, 35 years of outstanding service and dedicated service to the city of El Centro. Wow. Have you officially retired, or when will be your last day?
Yes, ma'am, as of the 6th of September.
Oh, the 6th of September. Oh, so you're already enjoying
Yes.
some relaxing time,
Yes,
huh?
kind of, yeah.
All right. So would you like to say a few words, or?
No, I just like to thank the council for inviting me here. I wasn't expecting this, but yeah, it's been, I'm grateful to be here, and I just guess I served my time now, and that's, I was debating yes or no, but I guess it's.
I guess it's time,
Yes,
so,
yeah,
yeah,
so,
it's time
yeah.
to enjoy your,
But, the city has been great to me. Yes,
wow.
I've enjoyed being here. So, yeah, I put my time in the water distribution as I started, and then towards the end in the streets. So I've been in and out of the ditches and water lines and all this. So yeah, so I appreciate all those.
Yeah,
Been here all this
wow, a
time.
lot of hard work.
Yes,
That
ma'am.
is hard work. So,
Yeah.
well, we would just like to congratulate you on your retirement.
Thank you.
And colleagues, would you like to say anything to Mr. Cornejo?
Yes, Mr. Cornejo, congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
My dad had the privilege of working with you, and
Yes,
I
ma'am.
thank you for the great work that you've done for the city of El Centro.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate you coming and being here with us today. I know, you were getting ready to move on to this other phase in your life, and we just wanted to make sure we had that opportunity, one, to thank you and to celebrate you. So on behalf of the citizens of El Centro, congratulations,
Thank you.
and thank you for
Appreciate
your hard work.
Inviting me today.
Thank you.
Mr. Cornejo, would you like to just in the mic give a quick shout out with the folks that are here with you and maybe recognize any familia that you have here with you?
Actually, my wife is here with me, Irene Cornejo. So yes, and a couple of my colleagues, yeah, JJ and mechanics, yeah, in the city.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so yeah.
Well, I just wanted to, because they're supporting you, so you got to give them a shout out, right?
Thank
you.
Thank you.
My point, the last thing that I'll say is that, I've seen you throughout the years in the time that I've been honored enough to be up here. And, what you mentioned working at the water treatment center and then now officially retiring on public works.
Yes.
You've been the heartbeat of the city, right? I say this because this weekend I got to spend some time with my sisters in Los Angeles, and as we're driving around, there was trash everywhere, right? It was ridiculous. And the comment that I made to them was, sometimes folks that sit at a dais think of very high level policy, and sometimes they think that all this complicated stuff is the best thing that can happen to the residents. But for the resident, it's really basic. Are the roads paved, right? Is the trash getting picked up? When I turn on my water, is water coming out?
Exactly.
Right? And it can be very simple. And what I'm trying to say is that for the residents, the tens of thousands of residents that lived in this community and continue to live here, you were there to make sure that the water that comes out of their faucet was safe. You made sure that the roads were safe. You made sure that they were able to get to work, take their kids to all of the activities that they have to do so kids can go safely
to school and parents to work. And so it's those little things that mean so much. And for them to be able to say thank you,
Appreciate
I hope you understand what that means, whether they know it or not.
Yeah,
So
it's,
thank
it's
you
all
for all your
about
time.
teamwork and, safety of the public also. So that's our priority first, and make sure that everything is well done where it's no contaminations and we get the jobs done. So it's all safety first, but yes, this is,
Congratulations on your
Thank you.
retirement, sir. Thanks.
Councilmember Carter, would you like to say a few words to Mr. Cornejo?
Yes, when I hear 35 years, I think of somebody who's put in a lot of hard work and dedication. And I just want to congratulate you and go live your retirement for you. Make sure that you do something for you. You put in 35 years serving everybody else. Now it's about you. Enjoy. Congratulations.
thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Cornejo, congratulations on 35 years. Thank you from the bottom of our heart for all of the dedicated service that you've given to the city and everything that you've helped deal with throughout all of your many years and all the different hats that you've worn. The one thing that the city has, and I think you'll agree, is just wonderful staff. And you said it earlier that it's a team effort, but to have somebody that puts in 35 years dedicated to the city is something that needs to be recognized. So thank you
Appreciate
very
it.
much. Congratulations. Enjoy the time with your family.
Appreciate it. Thank you all.
Well, Mr. Cornejo, I think my colleague said it all night, and I know that I wished you a happy retirement.
Thank you.
And relax,
I'll try to.
Yeah, I know, it's probably difficult not to wake up,
Yes.
at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning to get ready to come to
You
work. but-
usually beat the alarm clock.
Sure, the honey-do list is long.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
well, on that note, yes, Mr. Abraham Campos.
Hi, if I may, and just thank you, honorable mayor and council members. This is a bittersweet moment for us here at Public Work with Henry leaving us after 35 years, right? So he's shy. He's the most genuine, humble person that I know. He's a really good worker. He started here with us in 1989, as he mentioned, as a Water Street construction worker, worker one, then a worker two in 91, and then went into the lead worker in 92, and then in 2006 moved into streets. At the end of the main or most recent, I would say, is he helped us a lot with the striping. So when we see like that we stripe bike lanes or stop bars or stop signs, that was many times it was Henry doing that. He leaves a legacy here. He teach and taught more individuals going forward what it is to be a dedicated employee, to work for the city, to work for the citizens. And this is not an 8 to 5 job. This is a job at the streets and underground. It's also a first responder. So water breaks, street striping, emergency calls from PD, road closures in the middle of the night, they get called. So thank you for his wife for letting me for us for all these years. And I just want to say congratulate you and giving me the opportunity to speak for him because he's a great employee. I know he suffered in his decision to leave. He didn't want to leave, and probably his wife can attest to that. So, but it's the timing is the timing for him, and if we're gonna take advantage and have him stop by and mentor us again as in his free time, and or find some way, we'll make sure to take advantage of that. But we'll be missed, and hopefully we keep seeing him.
Oh, yeah. That's
All right.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
That was nice, Abraham. Thank you. All right. So before you sit down, we would like to present you with a plaque, but first I would like to read it. An appreciation and award presented to Henry M. Cornejo, listed here as an equipment operator, but I know that you've been much more than that. So for 35 years of outstanding and dedicated service to the city of El Centro. He started in July of 1989 and retired in September of 2024. So we would like to present this plaque to you. And if you'd like to come up and we'd like to take a picture with you.
Okay.
All righty. There you go, Henry. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So,
Thank you.
with our photographer. Would you like to invite Irene to come up with you?
Or something.
Do you have any other family? No? None of your kids? Any? No? No? Okay. All righty.
All right, here we go.
Oh, there's Mr. Rosalito.
Ready? Give me the retirement smile. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Taking a movie.
All right, thank you so much. So next on our agenda, we have a proclamation to recognize Domestic Violence Awareness Month, which happens in October of each year. And so, Ms. Gina Vargas, would you like to say a few words?
Good evening, Madam Mayor.
Good
Thank you
evening.
for having us here and proclaiming October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I would like to invite up Lydia Robles, our Women Haven's Board President, and Christian Gamble, our Outreach Specialist, and Judy Klein Pritchard, our Director for Legal Services, to join me. When we talk about, when he was mentioning team, Women Haven has a great team too, of those individuals who gives their heart and soul into the organization, the board members, that they're there to ensure that, that we are going towards our mission to reduce and end domestic violence in the community and to support those individuals to have a safe home, to support those individuals that they're safe at home and that they can obtain a restraining order. And those individuals who could do the outreach to be able to go out to the community and share our services. We think, well, we might know about Woman Haven here because we talk about it and see each other in different social circles. But in reality, there's some individuals who are not aware, or they get confused at the moment when they are. They just think, no, they minimize domestic violence or interpersonal violence. We help men, women, and children, teens who are those who are in a dating relationship, those are who are in a domestic relationship, elder abuse. We have spread our wings very broadly. We started in 1978 by two courageous women, Virginia Samaha and Alice Armstrong, who said, they went to a meeting, they said, you know what? In 1978, that was a time when we don't talk about it now. Then it was even more so when maybe those individuals were felt that that was a marital affair and everybody needs to mind their business. But they said no. And they started out with a shelter in Hopeville. And from there has blossomed this wonderful, I'm going to say it says blossom to a field of nurturing flowers and a courageous community surrounding them. And only through us talking about domestic violence are we going to be able to end domestic violence. We have to comfortably to say it does exist, and we are promoting everyone knows someone. Unfortunately, we do, and we must come to terms with that. And if it is happening, for them to know that there is Woman Haven and other resources in the community who can help them get through it, whether it is shelter, restraining order, counseling. Woman Haven has brought it out to a counseling department. We've expanded ourselves to where we are seeing the need of those individuals walking through our doors and being able to offer it. Housing department, also for those individuals who think, I can't, how am I going to pay my bills? He pays it all, or I won't be able to make it. We assist with that as well. There's many things that challenge or just themselves, their self-confidence has been, chiseled away. And so with what we do and where we've become and where we've gone for 46 years, we've brought in who we are, what we do, and the only way to end it is to bring this awareness as we're doing here today. But I need for council members to be able to take that and talk about it. And when a person says, that did happen to me, and to say, you know what, you are a survivor. and that they could proudly wear that word, you are a survivor. And that is true. Like, I was brave and I'm a survivor and I am this person today, and not have that shame that comes with it that, has been in the past. But how do you say you are a survivor, and you need to wear that survivor because you have gone through it, and allow yourself to walk through it, to go through it, to be able to heal and heal the second generation that it has impacted, not only them, because we believe also that You're Hurting Me Too is a program we want to put together for those individuals who were the secondhand survivors, to say it hurt me too, not only you. And now I'm healing through the trauma, to say, you know what, it did hurt me. And it's okay to say it wasn't okay. And now I need to work through that. So we thank you guys for being able to have us here today and to bring the awareness to domestic violence, and that you guys take it back to wear purple for the month of October. And if you guys have your pins, to be able to wear them and to bring the awareness. And purple can mean different things. We put a little goodie bag to be able to say, to bring awareness, to have a conversation about it, and to let individuals know there are many survivors out there, and there's still some victims and secondary victims that need help and need the way out. So together we could do that. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Ms. Vargas. And so thank you for joining us, board members. Christian, I know that you've accompanied Ms. Vargas on many occasions here in council chambers. And so with that, the City of El Centro would like to then present to you this proclamation for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, October 2024. Whereas the crime of family violence violates an individual's self-respect, dignity, security, and humanity due to systematic use of physical, emotional, sexual, psychological, and economic control and/or abuse, including abuse to children and the elderly. And whereas the problems of family violence are not confined to any group or groups of people, but cut across all economic, racial, and societal barriers and are supported by societal indifferences. And whereas the impact of family violence is wide-ranging, directly affecting individuals and society as a whole here in Imperial County, throughout the United States and the world. And whereas when a family member is abused, it can have long-term damaging effects on the victim, which also leaves a mark on the family, friends, and the community at large. And whereas during the month of October, we recognize the important work done by family violence advocates and programs such as yours. Funding has been an integral part of our nation's public health response to domestic violence by providing emergency shelters, crisis hotlines, prevention programs, and resource centers. And whereas the mayor and council members support and rededicate themselves to upholding the basic human right to be free from violence and abuse, as well as recognize all the victim service providers and organizations who work tirelessly and extend hope and healing to survivors and victims of domestic violence. Now, therefore, I, Sylvia Marroquin, Mayor of the City of El Centro, State of California, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2024 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in the City of El Centro. So Ms. Vargas and team, would you like to come up and accept this? And we'd like to take a picture with you, or several pictures.
Right there. There you go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Judy. I need to hold, so I'm.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Judy, for all the good work. Yes, thank you. Thank you for the bag.
Thank you.
Okey-doke. So now we move on to, we have another proclamation, and this one is for National Fire Prevention Week, which happens in October, from October the 6th through the 12th each year. And so this week we are going to be celebrating at the fire station, aren't we, Chief Bernal? And so to accept the proclamation along with the crew that you've got here is Mr. Joseph Bernal, our Chief of the Fire Department. So
Yes,
would you like to say a few words?
absolutely. Yeah. So as you alluded to, we do get to kick off a Fire Prevention Week celebration at the end of this week. Allow me a moment to promote our open house this Saturday, October 5th at Station 3, 1910 North Waterman from 10 to 2. And Fire Prevention Week kicks off a greater effort for the fire department. While fire prevention is something that we handle 365 days a year, October and Fire Prevention Week really allows us to focus that in and really reach out to the community. This is the opportunity for us to invite folks into our home, to educate them on the fire department beyond just our response capabilities. It gives us an opportunity to outreach to the community and start planting that seed early, from school tours to all ages, right? And really start hammering that message as far as fire prevention and the things that we can do to mitigate. So like the saying goes, right? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Same goes with fire department, is that what is the best way to suppress an emergency is by preventing it in the first place. So fire prevention is an extremely important part of our responsibility. I really look forward to every month, or excuse me, every October, because it really gives us an opportunity to reach out to the community. This is the time, like I said, we're going to be flooded with school tours for the month of October, and it's always nice to see, you know, all these kids come through excited to come to the fire department. At the same time, we're excited to actually promote a useful message that they can take home and hopefully, you know, live a safer life moving forward. So thank you so much. And
Chief. Thank you. And so what I'd like to do is then read the proclamation from the City of El Centro for National Fire Prevention Week, October the 6th through the 12th, 2024. Whereas the City of El Centro is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living and visiting our city. Fire is a serious public safety concern, both locally and nationally, and homes are the locations where people are at greatest risk from fire. And whereas roughly 3 out of 5 fire deaths happen in homes with either no smoke alarms or with no working smoke alarms. Working smoke alarms cut the risk of dying in reported home fires almost in half. And whereas residents should install smoke alarms in every sleeping room outside each separate sleeping area and on every level of the home. Residents who have planned and practiced a home fire escape plan are more prepared and will therefore be more likely to survive a fire. And whereas the El Centro Fire Department is dedicated to reducing the occurrence of home fires and home fire injuries through prevention and protection education. Residents are responsive to public education measures and are able to take personal steps to increase their safety, especially at home. And whereas the 2024 Fire Prevention Week theme, Smoke Alarms, Make Them Work for You, serves to remind us of the importance of having working smoke alarms in our homes. And whereas the mayor and council members urge all citizens to make sure their homes have working smoke alarms and to support the many public safety activities, educational programs, and efforts of the El Centro Fire Department and Emergency Services. Now therefore, I, Sylvia Marroquin, Mayor of the City of El Centro, State of California, do hereby proclaim October the 6th through the 12th, 2024 as National Fire Prevention Week in the City of El Centro.
thank you.
Chief Bernal, would you like to come up and accept along with your crew? All right. We're gonna maybe balance it out over the.
Balance out.
Okay, here we go.
Paparazzi.
Go get some less cooks.
All right.
Alrighty, guys, thank you so much.
Congratulations.
So now we move on to our next item on the agenda, which is a certificate of recognition for National Human Resource Professionals Day, which occurs, actually occurred in September, okay, September the 26th, 2024. And is Mrs., oh, there she is. You went around and I was like, look at, I was looking for you. So, hello, Mrs. Bedoya.
Yes, well, thank you. Thank you for the recognition. I just want to say thank you for allowing us to serve all of you and all city staff. It is a pleasure. Can't say much. HR is confidential. So.
Wow, that's
no,
a
I
good
do.
way. That's a good way to shorten the remarks. Okay.
Yes. No, I do want to say thank you again, and also more than anything for my great team. I have Diana here, and Elsa, and Dora, and we are missing Jasmine. She helps us at the front, and also Martha, who is our new mom. We have a new baby, so if you're watching, Martha, thank you for all you do. So thank you again.
All righty. So what I'd like to do is present the certificate of recognition for National Human Resource Professionals Day, September 26, 2024. Human resource professionals serve as leaders and advocates. Thank you for your hard work, dedication, and unwavering commitment to the valuable work that you do every day. And so I'd like to invite you to come up and receive your certificate. And your team. And of course, your team offers it.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Okay,
Thank you for the hard work.
Thank you for everything you do. And just one more presentation. Wow, it's nice to be able to present all of these, not only proclamations, but certificates of recognition. So we will next present a certificate of recognition for National Information Technology Professionals Day, which occurred on September the 17th, 2024. Oh, there he is. And so we are calling. Hello, Miguel. How are you?
Hello, good. I just want to say thank you. It's an honor to work for the city. And as an IT administrator, I appreciate my team, Antonio, Kasumi, and Max, our new guy that he started today.
Oh, really? Oh, well, welcome.
They put a lot of work on the city, and we try our best to keep our computers running. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. So, all righty. And so I would like to then present to you the certificate of recognition for National Information Technology Professionals Day, September the 17th, 2024. IT professionals ensure technical processes, systems, and devices operate smoothly. They keep us up to date on all the advancements in technology. Thank you for your hard work and dedication. All right, Miguel, would you like to invite your team to come up?
Yes.
Two and two.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
For the hard work.
All right, colleagues. So now we move on to the serious stuff. So We will be then voting on the consent agenda, items 6 through 13. And so, colleagues, alrighty. And so all items on the consent agenda have been adopted, 5-0. All right, and we move on to department head reports. Under new business, we have item number 14, approval of vendor agreement with Day Wireless Systems for the purchase of radio equipment related to the new police station construction project. And we have our Public Works Director and City Engineer, Mr. Abraham Campos.
Hi, good evening again, Honorable Mayor and Council Member. This is a project that is related to an integral to the police station. The police station construction involves the brick and mortar of the building, but some of the support systems for the police are not part of the project. This is one of those support systems. This is regarding communications. Day Wireless is an authorized vendor for Motorola, and we require this vendor agreement to start purchasing the equipment for that communication component. That's a city contract outside of the contractor. So we can start ordering the equipment in time for when the police station gets constructed. So with that, I'm looking for approval of this vendor agreement in the amount of $55,857 and allowing us to proceed with this purchase.
Colleagues, does anyone have any questions or comments from Mr. Campos?
Madam Mayor, Abraham, when I was reading this stuff, it didn't have a price as to what it is. I'm wondering, is that intentional? Is this going to essentially come back to us prior to, or are we signing a black check right now?
No, it's in the attachments, and I do apologize. I did see that coming into the meeting because I wanted to discuss the price and I saw it was not there. So yes, it is $55,857, and it's part of the support. It's part of the attachments to the report.
It must have been buried.
It was
Right. No, you're good. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, it's a
Thank
lot,
you.
it's a lot less than what he usually requests. So.
Thank you.
Okey-dokey. Alrighty, and that is adopted 5-0. And now we have an update on our Community Services Department by our Community Services Director, Mrs. Adriana Nava.
Hello, Honorable Mayor and Council. What we do all day, go through folders. Before I start out, I just want to make sure that I mention the team. You see the Community Services Department. It's a logo that Emilio's been working on that we haven't fully released, but I thought it was prudent for this meeting. So the Community Services Department is composed of the Economic Development Division, Parks, Recreation, and Aquatics. And so the team obviously is the supervisors and the staff that work on the day-to-day work. And obviously these are just some of the highlights of the work that's being done. A lot of our work, much like HR, is just work that you do, reports for the state. There isn't a lot of, shine to it. It's just work we do annually. But some of this work is the work that we've been working on collectively with the guidance of the council, things that you wanted us to do, and then things that the community has asked for time and time again. That is also part of our strategic plan, our general plan, et cetera. So I'll get started. So the first one, I'm sure you've all received the invitation by now. October 3rd is the day of the ribbon cutting for Jacaranda Gardens. And this is a culmination. Beginning in 2020, we started with the property looking for an interested affordable housing developer. Chelsea was successful in that. And so we moved forward with negotiations and, all the paperwork that was behind it. And now, I just want to show the level of interest and the need in this community. So for this project, we had 1,989 people respond to the ad. 544 then submitted applications to Chelsea. And in the end, there's only 96 units. And so, 96 units, 96 families are going to be selected, or were selected, to live in these, but just the overall demand, it goes to show in our community for more housing. So it's an exciting moment for us. You know, this is something I feel like council should be really proud of. When Councilmember Garcia was mayor, he wanted to do First Responders Park. That was completed, and now that additional enhancement, the library, all of that makes us more competitive as we submit grant applications such as this one. And so all of that has culminated in additional housing for the community, but obviously it's been an effort over the years to build on this. The second one is the downtown facade improvement project. If you've been seeing, we are on round 2. This next section is 6 properties. One of them is the Main Street Mall. And I asked Gina if she could stay with us today and say a few words, because Woman Haven has 2 offices in the Main Street Mall. And as you can see, the paint looks a lot more vibrant. We're working with the property owner to update the signage. This is also Measure P funding. So this is, you know, the half-cent sales tax and how it's being used. We had the first round that assisted 9 properties, and then this next one has assisted 6 properties. But the Main Street Mall alone includes various businesses in there, and is also huge. It's 13,000 square feet. Mind you, this is the exterior, but it's still a very large property. Where's Gina? Oh, Gina was going to say a few words. I did ask her, Gina, how do you feel about this? Because, you know, we are employees of the city. We see the work, it gets done, but we don't show up to the office every day looking at a building.
Yes, it looks amazing. You no longer have to feel like you run in because of the heat, but you no longer run in because you're so embarrassed of what it looks like on the outside. I mean, just the transformation, it just looks so vibrant. And, you know, it's not only for the staff, but also the clients that we serve, because it's a reflection of who we are, and that they want to make sure that where they're going into, that it's, you know, a reputable place, and it doesn't look kind of creepy and dingy and like, what am I going to get into that place? And so that whole thing, I was excited when I seen, you know, they were, you know, scraping it off, and then now the color that has been selected, it just makes it so nice and so peaceful. The staff really love it. They feel a sense of, you know, ownership and welcoming, and so, and for the clients too, that they're able to go in there and feel like, okay, this is a nice organization. We do have 20 employees, and we do actually have 5 suites inside that building. And so it's quite a big square footage that we rent in there. So we thank you for putting that grant and making it available to the down street, although we're not the owner of that building, but we did jump on it when it did come up, and we said, here, we will apply for you. Just put your signature on here and let us push it through. And so thankfully he put his signature on there and allowed us to apply on his behalf. And so it's looking good.
Yes.
It's looking good. Very good money put to use. So I think that's what downtown needs to make it feel welcoming, and other people, when it gets cooler, to be able to walk down through Main Street, to be able to look at the shops and not make it feel like, ew. It now feels like, wow. So thank you. Thank you.
So I guess the color that was chosen for that building was literally brought some sunshine into the downtown area, didn't it? Literally. So, yes. Alrighty. Okay, Mrs. Navas.
So this is the round 2, 6 properties, and then the first one was 9. And so this is, I feel, you know, it is benefiting a lot of businesses aside just from the properties. The mural program is another one of the Measure P recipients. It was $35,000 used towards 7 murals. Here's some examples of some of the murals that have been recently completed. One of them is still in progress. The one in the lower corner is being completed at the community center adjacent to the playground. And then we have the large signage by the aquatic center. It says El Centro, and it has various El Centro landmarks. And then there's another one at Buckland Park that was added. Her style is realism. And so there's 2 large ducks, and then some homage to various segments of the park, including the Veterans Memorial. Another one of the items affecting the downtown is we have the Economic Development and Administration Revolving Loan Fund. Some of our loan recipients have paid back some of that funding, and now we are recirculating it. $100,000 were recently lent to one of our restaurants in the downtown, and it's something that we're very proud of. We want to reinvigorate that space, and this is one of the ways that we are doing that through loans to those downtown businesses. And then, Mayor, this is a project near and dear to your heart. It has finally started, the Helping Hands program. I don't know if you want to elaborate instead of me speaking on something that you've been working for a couple of years now as well.
I just want to say that this is something that came from a conversation that I was having at an event, and ironically, it was with Adriana's husband, George Nava, who is a council member in the city of Raleigh. And so lo and behold, then Gus, our own Gus Ibarra, presents a project that was done in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where a church partnered with a local, the mayor of the town partnered with the local church to hire individuals to that are unsheltered individuals and put them to work. And so in the hopes of hopefully turning their lives around. And so that all kind of culminated into the project that we started here in the city of El Centro. And through state funding that we received from the Permanent Local Housing Allocation Funds, the city was able to start the Helping Hands program. And it started on Monday, September the 23rd. We have hired 5 individuals to start with. And let me tell you that Catholic Charities has been an instrumental part of this program. Not only are they our partners, but the day center that they operate was an integral part of being able to launch this program. So individuals, then that is their meeting place. These unsheltered individuals will meet at Catholic Charities. They will receive breakfast. They provide them with a space to shower and get ready for the workday. And the city of El Centro donated 2 vehicles to Catholic Charities to be able to transport individuals to the different work sites around town. And they also transport all of the equipment and cleaning products that they use. And so we started by having them clean up the bus stops around town because we know that they have been neglected for a little while. And so I think the residents that use our public transportation services will notice that we have done some cleanups there. I know that they've been at several of the parks around town already. And so, you know, this program is intended to help these individuals integrate back into society by not only maybe teaching them or reteaching them skills on how to work. They're working directly with our Public Works Department and the staff there. And so, you know, they are paid once a week and they're paid by check. And so then they are then taken to a financial institution, hopefully they, you know, to establish a bank account so that they can then negotiate their checks. And, you know, this is something that I've been working on for the last couple of years. I know that we ran into some glitches here and there, but, you know, it's up and running and it's working. And we have a wait list of individuals that would like to participate in this program. So I don't know what more to say.
No, that's perfect.
I'm in awe.
No,
you know?
I think for me, so for this presentation, I went to various city facilities to take photographs and I ran into them every single day, not knowing what park they were going to be at daily. On one of the days when I did go to Swarth Out, they had also gone to the transfer terminal to pick up some trash and we're doing some cleaning at the facility. And it brings me great joy to see also a police vehicle that was rehabbed, that was going to be sold off to auction and to be used for this as well. And so there's a lot of great pride of creativity, working together with our nonprofit partners, and also seeing these individuals happy about completing, you know, a day's work. And so I have seen them, these are obviously zoomed out for a reason to give people their privacy, but we're excited that they're a part of this program. And so far it's working out. We are going to be scheduling some, you know, follow-up meetings with Catholic Charities. But it's a great start. And that's what we needed, that start. You know, there's so many agreements and legalities that come into play.
Yes.
So this is really excited to finally see it happen. So that's the other one. The other one, going back to our downtown space, We've been working on the Clean California grant. It was awarded. The amount awarded was 4.78 million. We now have a consultant on board, Core Design Group. They're a great firm out of San Diego. And they're already starting the design work. We've had a couple of meetings with them. We have a new one being scheduled. After the design work is completed, we will go out for construction. And our goal is spring 2025 to begin construction. They're a great team to work with. We have a great team, Public Works, Parks. There's a lot of synergies here in El Centro. And I think that that's what makes our work so exciting, that we have a great people that we get to work with and great consultants. Park revitalization. So these were all economic development. I'm going to move on to the park revitalizations of things that we're currently working on. This is Debbie Pittman. There was field lighting that was completed in fall 2023. Since then, we've added new signage. A lot of our signage was old. The sun, does a number on it. So we've been upgrading our signage. We also did a minor restroom rehabilitation, painted it, added new doors. There's also a walkway that now traverses the entire site. This new concrete walkway, it just eliminates a lot of the dirt, and it makes it more comfortable. If you have a wagon and you're coming in with your kids, it's a more comfortable walk. Also, in terms of emergency purposes, if we needed something to go through there, we now could without so much restrictions with dirt and lack of access when it rains. And so, the walkway is something minor, but also it's just such a great added enhancement. The snack bar, we recently added an air conditioner, some windows, again, making the space feel more welcoming for the users. Air conditioning here is not a luxury,
No,
it's a necessity.
It's a necessity.
So that was great. Total cost of improvements was 1.19 million. And again, these are Measure P dollars that we've been using towards revitalizing these park spaces. Swarthout was another one. With Swarthout, the Musco field lighting was just completed summer 2024. And throughout that process, there were a lot of electrical upgrades that were needed, a lot of vehicles that went through the park. And so a lot of the green space is gone. And so now we're working towards rebuilding that turf. We also added some new electronic football scoreboards. We didn't have those before, and they don't look giant here, but they're huge. And so adding those improvements has also just made the space more usable for the football entities. We're also working on some Ramada upgrades. There is a Ramada that had some substantial damage, shingles, et cetera, that needed some improvements. So we're working on that. And then also Swarthout is one of the spaces where the food bank does a food distribution. If you've ever went through there in the morning, sometimes you will see a huge line. And so one of the artists, Sergio Ojeda, did a mural there emphasizing on nutrition and well-being. His thing is octopus. And so he also added a heart with vegetables that are grown here in the valley. The cost of improvements for this project thus far is about 2.69 million. And these were also Measure P dollars. And then the dog park, we did a ribbon cutting April 2024. And after the ribbon cutting was completed, again, anytime you go through construction work in a park, the turf really through the mobilization and all the soil movement really goes through it. So we reseeded the dog park in August, and then we currently were working on the landscaping along Park Avenue. There's a large frontage there, and so that's currently in progress. And then the total cost of the improvements to complete this Park Avenue corridor was about 1.185 million, and that includes the hill donation in the amount of 495,000. Overall, if you go by the evenings, you see quite a bit of people using the park, especially in the evenings, since that's when it's cooler. Also, it really enhances the corridor. If you look at Adams Avenue and what it looked like before, and now you see it, you see the traffic, it just creates a better space for people, even through just traversing Adams Avenue. And then Buena Vista Park, if you've driven by there, you can see that it's finally getting built. The design was completed, now we're in construction. You can see the walkway all around the perimeter of the park is completed. The image on the bottom portion is the basketball court. And then this is an image of the playground that's going to be added. The size, for this one, we went a little higher because of the fall zone and the amount of space that we have. It's not a very large playground area. So in order to maximize the usage, we went a little higher. The cost of this project is 2.79 million. And this is a combination. We had received an urban greening grant in the amount of 1.1 million, and the shortfall has been covered by Measure P. And then Gomez Park, we have a designer on board. They are currently working on construction documents. They made some minor modifications to our original layout for functionality, and also to ensure that we meet our $5.7 million grant. So this is one of our first design build contracts that we've completed, and there was a bit of a learning curve on that. But now, as soon as the construction documents are completed, that same firm will begin construction and we won't go out to bid again. So it's been a relief to be working with them side by side to make sure that they meet our targeted goal of 5.7 million. We don't want to go over.
Mhm.
And then lastly, some of the recreation programs that are occurring. There's way more to it. These are special events. We invite you to Senior Appreciation Day, which is Thursday, October 10, and it will be at the MLK again. And this year, the theme will be superheroes. And then we are going to be having our Trunk or Treat Trail of Terror at the same place, Starkfield, on October 25th. And then recently, we do a summer recreation brochure. We said, you know what, we have so many programs in the fall as well. You know, why not do a fall brochure? And so that should be getting released shortly. I know Emilio can hear me and see me. For Emilio, we run him a little ragged with all the marketing that we do as a city, and we all compete for him. So for Emilio. But yeah, this is something that we are working on. Right now, the staff is at National Night Out, out at Buckland Park, and so they're out there as we are here. But great work is being done in your community daily. And, you know, I'm here as a messenger, but there's a huge army of people, actually not so huge army of people, just people that work on these projects day to day to bring them to fruition, speaking to property owners, speaking to residents, to making sure these things happen. And that's pretty much all I have. Thank you. And if you have
Wow,
any
Mrs.
questions,
Bravo.
I'm, you know, eager to answer.
Fantastic presentation. Would you, colleagues, would you like to?
Just Adriana, I just want to take this opportunity just to thank the amazing work that happens. And this is put together by an amazing team. And so congratulations to all of the City of El Centro staff that just are very dedicated to making sure that they improve the quality of life. We can sit up here and make the funding decisions, but when you take a look at the intricate work and all the details that it requires, I'm very proud to be an El Centro City Council member, but I'm even more proud of being a resident of El Centro. So congratulations to your team.
Thank you. Thank you. I know some of them are.
Councilmember Olivo?
So very briefly, it's a lot of information. It's a lot of projects that you are spearheading and leading. And so just a heartfelt thank you for all the hard work. And I really hope that your staff feels that appreciation from the council and the residents, and that the residents through this presentation are aware of just how much your department does for them. So thanks again.
Councilmember Carter, would you like to say a few words?
Just thank you. Briefly, when you go back, please let your staff know that how much we appreciate all the hard work, as well as you putting the effort in for all this. This is not easy. You know, I know what you do, and it's not easy. So I congratulate you for actually putting your best foot forward and leading your team to an amazing, because this is all amazing. Thank you for what you have shown
And they
us
listen,
today.
they watch these meetings. So
Yeah.
I know many of them are listening and are grateful for the support and entrusting us with these public dollars. We take that
Yes.
responsibility. We don't take it lightly. We don't want to overspend. I'm not saying it doesn't happen because construction costs fluctuate, but I do want to assure you that our goal is always to get to that end point and to get these facilities built, because we also love to see the end product.
Yes.
Seeing people enjoy them. You know, yes, there are maintenance issues that happen, but seeing people at the dog park, people I've never seen before at other parks, it's a great feeling.
Well, we
And that's why we do
appreciate
it.
you guys. We appreciate all of you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Councilmember Garcia?
Absolutely. Just excellent work. excellent work. Thank you to all the staff that's taken part in all of these projects. How you manage to show so much in such little time, because I know that if you spend all the time talking about everything you're working on currently and all of the events that are going on, we could be here for an hour easily, if not more. But it's very exciting to see what we offer to the community and the work that's being done, specifically being spearheaded by you. So thank you and
Thank you guys.
congratulations.
Appreciate your support.
It's wonderful to see. It's great. It's a great time to live in the city of El Centro.
And we do hear that from people. People do see the changes. And I feel like sometimes we don't see them. It never seems to happen fast enough. But I think our residents do explain to us that they're very, content that they see the work that's happening in El Centro. So,
Well, Mrs. Nava, I just want to echo what Martha stated, and, that I'm so proud to be a member of the city council at this time, but more proud of all of you, Gus, Adriana, and all of your team, Javier, that's not with us, this evening. but
Rebecca, I want to make sure I
yes,
mention
and
them by name because
yes.
these people work so hard.
Yes, proud of all of, oh my gosh, look at all the accomplishments that you've made. I recall some of, approving some of the funding for these projects, and to see them come to fruition is just one of those moments that we are just so in awe of and proud of. And, thank you for always chasing those dollars, to subsidize Measure P, because I know that, it's not easy. I know that preparing grant proposals is a lot of work.
Yeah.
And so, thank you for the time that you take to bring that, funding to the city of El Centro, and look at the results.
Yeah,
you know,
and
so-
I will say, it's not
Mhm.
just me. Every time we write a grant application, Abraham's team is also
Also-
by our side
Uh-huh.
doing cost estimating, which is really tough work. We can, complete applications, but if the cost estimating is way off, it really hurts us. The other thing I do want to mention is, I don't know if Angel is here, but today he told me, hey, come to this, meeting really quick at 4:30 at Jacaranda Gardens with the Strategic Growth Council. They have funded various of our projects, Jacaranda being one of them. It was a portion of it, but it feels great to be able to have, that professional colleague that's like, hey, here, we might need to chase these dollars in the future, and establishing the report. These people come from Sacramento. We are very far from Sacramento. So them seeing the work that we are doing is great. We are also going to be having California State Parks. They're going to be in El Centro this October, in a few days, October 8th. October 8th. And so we've invited them to our community. California State Parks has also been instrumental in giving us some money to fix some of these parks. And they're going to be here as part of their SCORP program. They are updating their plan, and this is part of their public outreach. So the fact that now Sacramento comes to El Centro and is reaching out and, hey, can you help us out with this public outreach? We're more than happy to be there for them because they've been there for us. And for me, that's historic, right? Before it was like, do you know we're here? And so now seeing them come out here and contact us, it feels incredible. So thank you guys too, because I know that's a lot of the work that you guys do out there in putting El Centro on the map.
We were at an event last night, and there were quite a few state representatives from the governor's office there. And, I have to say that El Centro is on the map, and they chose, the city of El Centro to host their event. But, that is one common theme that was presented last night, is that they've taken notice. And so, and again, thank you and all of the team that is involved in putting us on the map, because El Centro is in the spotlight. So thank you.
Thank you, guys.
And so now we move on to a presentation by our financial consultant, Mr. Andy Heath, to give us a finance department update on where we are today.
All right. Thank you, Madam Mayor and members of the council. For the record, Andy Heath, as financial consultant to the city. I'm actually glad that I got to follow that last presentation with what I'm going to give to you tonight. One thing I'm reminded of as a leader in the various cities that I have worked for in a financial leadership role is that it's not so much that the finance department controls what the city does fiscally, it's that it facilitates what the city is able to do fiscally. And when you watch presentations like the one we just saw, where you see all the parks and all the community development activities that are going on, and furthermore, you understand exactly what's going on in public works with a lot of the streets projects, a lot of the other public works projects with the police station and those sorts of things, you understand that it really does take teamwork at the citywide level. And the finance department plays a very, very integral role in that we need to facilitate, not control, we need to enable, we need to facilitate and make sure that these departments and these department heads and their teams have the ability to do exactly what they need to do to deliver to you, the city council, and ultimately to the citizens of the city. So with that, what I'd like to do is kind of reiterate some of the things that we discussed actually 2 weeks ago, when I presented some information to you on where we are in the finance department. I'm going to give you an update on the audit. There have been some developments in the last couple of weeks with the 22-23 audit. And I'll go over the update to the financial forecast. There has been a development there as well, where we have actually gone in and updated the 23-24 anticipated numbers, consistent with the closing of the fiscal year, which basically ended on August 31st. We'll go over financial sustainability and some of the fiscal practices that you have seen, and there's one new one in there. And then any questions that you might have and next steps. Looking at the audit status, so we have been made aware that the auditors actually will be on site in the city on October 21st, so 3 weeks from yesterday. The auditors will be here. It's expected that they'll be here probably for the majority of the week. I do plan on being on site with staff to help facilitate that audit, and then more importantly, learn as much as I can in the continued role that I'm playing in your finance department. So Ben and his team will actually be on site that week, and will be conducting the audit. The hopes are that they will get all the information they need and that the books will be clean enough when that audit is conducted during that week, where they can turn around and hopefully get us preliminary financial statements, hopefully by late November, early December. So it just takes a good month for the auditors to do their work and then ultimately get us that information. So that is the hope. For fiscal 23-24, we are performing the ending of the preliminary closing processes, where we're looking at what those closing entries are doing in terms of impacting the forecast, and you'll see that tonight. Revenue and expenditure accruals are being done, and we're finishing up those tasks, and then certain year-end adjustment processes to the balance sheets for the various activities that the city undertakes in the financial realm. That audit is not yet scheduled, but as I mentioned 2 weeks ago, it's anticipated that it will follow on the heels of the completion of the 22-23 audit, as you'll have the same auditors. This is an update to the general fund financial forecast for fiscal 23-24. So when you saw this forecast for the year just finished 2 weeks ago, we anticipated that the surplus to reserves, that is what the net result of the general fund would be for 23-24, would be just over $700,000. So that takes into account a prior forecast of $36.2 million in revenue, offset by $35.5 million in expenditures. Now that we have actually gone through and we're starting to close 23-24 and look at the revenues that we're able to accrue, looking at expenditures, which are pretty true up to this point, it's anticipated that your revenues will be about $37.2 million and your expenditures 34.7, meaning your anticipated surplus to reserves will be consistent, ironically, with what it has been for the 2 years prior. Okay, so you might recall the 2 years prior. Actually, I have a graph. I'll show you that in just a sec. But nonetheless, in 2 weeks, just closing the books and doing some of the things that we've been doing to make the books correct for 23-24, the surplus is now $2.5 million. So we've added about 1.8 to the bottom line, 1.8 million to the bottom line. And again, this does include updates based on the preliminary year-end numbers. There's expenditure savings. Obviously, you did not fill all your positions last year, so you have a significant amount of salary savings that's built into that. Also on top of that, operational savings. Keep in mind that some of those operational savings may carry over into next year, particularly for the capital-related items. But nonetheless, because you didn't spend it in one year, you're going to carry over to the next. That still goes to the bottom line as surplus. And all the revenue accruals have been done in interest earnings because interest rates remain high, at least higher than they were a couple of years ago. You have significant interest earnings because the city has a cash position that's very, very good. Okay, so when you update the forecast and see what it looks like, you can see that, again, there's those 3 years. We have the actuals, the audited actuals from 21-22. We added $3.2 million to the bottom line in the general fund. And in the 22-23 preliminary, which is what we will be giving the auditors when they come in 3 weeks, will indicate just about a $3 million surplus to the general fund. And then as we just are closing, the last fiscal year just finished, 23-24, there's your 2.5. So again, very consistent over those 3-year periods. And then you can see we're still consistent with the forecast. Now, one may ask, why are the forecasted numbers for the future significantly less than the numbers that we've experienced already? And there's a lot of reasons for this, okay? There is a significant amount of conservatism still built into your forecast and ultimately your budget. Keep in mind that when we put the budget together, or with forecast together, we actually used the budget, okay? We are starting to massage some of that out. And here are some of the things we're looking at. What the future budgets, those future forecasts assume, and that where you are arriving at these lower numbers, sustainable lower numbers, certainly nothing like what you were seeing before, $4, $5, $6, $7 million deficits. Okay, these are balanced budgets, okay, moving forward. However, you still have nominal revenue growth and non-salary expenditure growth. So the revenue growth doesn't assume significant amounts of property tax are going to come in or sales tax. It's nominal, 1%, 2% growth. Keep in mind that there is no salary growth built into the forecast. So to the extent you were to provide CPI or COLA increases to the bargaining groups in the city, that would need to be added in. You have future forecasted CalPERS UAL costs. So the unfunded liability costs, which for most cities, as of the last actuarial reports, are rising because CalPERS missed their discount rate, their investment return target 2 years in a row. You have CalPERS UAL costs significantly increasing. And in fact, most of those lower numbers are because of that. Okay, so between this year and 29-30, I believe your UAL cost goes up $1.8 million in the general fund. Okay, so that is all built into this. Vacancy savings. So in the budget and in the forecast, we've only estimated about 50% of the value of the vacancies that actually exist in the city. These numbers back here, the 3.2 million, the 3 million, the 2.5 million, there's a lot more vacancy savings that's built into that. So what happens here is if you've gone 3 years with that level of vacancy savings, and you've gone 3 years, probably successful years, in undertaking a service delivery level to the community that you do want to provide, then what is the actual service level that is to be provided, and what does that cost? So when we look at the amount of vacancies in the city, which are 41 at the time that the forecast was put together, taking some of those positions out potentially will lead to a significant amount of savings for the city. Keeping in mind that the average position cost is probably about $120,000 or $130,000 when you look at the city as a whole. Okay, that's $4 or $5 million. That is what's leading to those first 3 numbers. Okay, because you end the year with a significant amount of vacancy savings, and in those last 5 years, all that's built in is 50%. Okay, we know it's going to be more than that. Okay, you're going to have significantly more vacancy savings. We also have updates to the workers' compensation funding that's built in citywide. That is changing. Workers' compensation, it's a fixed cost. It's a premium that's paid every year by the city. What we were doing before was taking it as a percentage of payroll, which was overfunding workers' compensation, charging all the funds in the city too much to overfund the workers' comp internal service fund, and we're going to fix that in the future. We've updated cost allocations to other funds. That is the general fund overhead. And then again, just a reminder that all of those future years assume that Measure P, like in the current year, 24-25, Measure P is used for public safety non-personnel costs. And again, just a reminder, no unnegotiated bargaining unit increases are not included in the model. This is what your fund balance looks like. So you can see your fund balance is $28 million, right around there. And that represents 65-66% of your expenditure base. Very good number for a city in the general fund, especially the city the size of El Centro, 50,000 people. Those numbers are very prudent, and congratulations to your council for being as conservative as you've been to assure you have those monies set aside for anything that might come up, and it could be anything. Okay, looking at general fund fiscal sustainability. In other words, as I led this off, what can we be doing to help facilitate the delivery of some of these projects that all the other departments are undertaking? We can really look into making sure that our budgets are stable and sustainable long-term. And in looking at all of the things that go into what makes that budget up. So one of the things that I think we need to do, and this is a new bullet, is review the general fund expenditure base to right-size it under a desired service delivery model. So this goes to that salary savings that I was speaking about earlier. What are the positions required ultimately in the city to deliver that level of service? What do they need to be paid? And how do we facilitate that? And then also looking at operational expenditure budgets, going into some of the contractual activities or professional services activities, some of the things that are just arbitrarily, in many cases, added to budgets each year that may not be spent ultimately by the end of the year. So I think a real thorough review of operational expenditure budgets in all the departments would serve to create a better fiscal sustainability. Review the use of Section 115 trusts, and this is money that's set aside specifically for your pension and your health, retiree health costs. Right now, you have $4.38 million in your pension trust fund. By the way, I just got the August statement for your pension trust, and you made $70,000 in interest in August. So you're making good money in those trust funds. It earned $266,000 in 23-24. In the OPEB trust, $11.1 million is in that fund, and it earned $700,000 in 23-24. The pension trust fund, as I mentioned, can go against some of those rising CalPERS UAL, unfunded liability costs that we anticipate will take place over the next about 4 or 5 years. To mitigate the exposure to reducing operational or having less money available for operational costs, you can actually take the interest earnings out of this pension trust and apply it to that without ever touching the principal. So it acts like an endowment to help fund some of those costs that otherwise would be borne specifically by the general fund. Similarly, in OPEB, you pay about $300,000 a year, I believe, for retiree health costs. And when you're earning $700,000 a year in interest, you can most certainly offset those costs in the future with that money. So, you know, right there, $500,000 or $600,000 can be saved immediately in the general fund just by redoing the budget, which we will bring back at mid-year. You also have a fund that has been housing the unspent monies from ARPA, the American Rescue Plan Act money that you received. I believe this city received just over $14 million of that funding. That money obviously wasn't spent for some amount of time, and as a result, over the last 3 fiscal years, has earned $700,000 in interest that has been allocated to that fund. Well, the United States Treasury Department does not require that ARPA interest earnings on ARPA funds be allocated for ARPA purposes. In other words, that interest money can go to your general fund, not your ARPA fund. So we likely will be making a recommendation, coming back to the council with mid-year to use that money for some other one-time purpose other than something specifically for ARPA, because it's not part of the ARPA mix, okay? Reviewing use of citywide internal service funds. So talked about this a little bit. Workers' compensation has about just over $4 million in it. The group health trust fund, just over 5 million, unemployment, 1 million. And then your motor vehicle replacement fund, not a whole lot, but there's some money there. Those funds need to be looked at. They need to be looked at on how much is actually needed. What are the liabilities associated with those funds and why are they there? Because it's my belief that there's not a whole lot of liabilities that you don't pay for from year to year. There's no contingent liability on any of those funds. And that ultimately you may be able to free up some of that money to give back to the funds that originally paid it and or use that for one-time purposes as well in the future. Okay, financial updates next step. So we will continue to update that general fund forecast. That general fund forecast is a very dynamic, iterative model, and it's purposely so that way. As we make changes and as we see things evolve fiscally, that model will continue to be updated, and we'll keep bringing back those graphs every time we do a presentation to your council. Review alternatives for the use of some of those Section 115 trust funds, specifically for pension and OPEB retiree costs. Review alternatives to funding citywide internal service funds and the use of the fund balances. We are still continuing to work on the 24-25 budgets. You did adopt a budget, but there was a lot of incomplete things that were part of that budget. So we are looking at each fund individually, and we're actually going back and updating all of that. One of the funds that we just pretty much finished today was the ARPA fund itself, where I wanted to make sure that everything reconciled with what your council has seen from an ARPA perspective, what staff has been putting together from an ARPA perspective, and what I'm seeing in your general ledger from an ARPA perspective. And it all ties out and balances. So that's a good thing. So staff's done a good job. And then the next financial update, we'll see when that is. Wasn't expecting to do this one today, but here I am doing it for you. I think it's really important that your council is apprised of this information as things evolve in the finance realm. So with that, I will stop and answer any questions you might have.
Colleagues, yes.
Andy, please, if we could go back to the slide where it shows the general fund.
This one?
I think this is so important for the sake of accuracy, transparency, and also reassurance to our citizens. It's very clear here that we are operating not only a balanced budget, we've actually shown a surplus in these areas, correct? So I want to make sure that that goes on record so that the community knows that we are and have been very mindful and diligent about our expenses. We just heard a report from Ms. Adriana, who shared all of the projects and the expenses that have taken place, and all that has been able to be a balanced budget, showing a surplus, but also because we've been very diligent about making sure that we were seeking grants and funding to be able to be a partner in the finances of being able to complete these projects. So this is just kudos. I hope that the citizens of El Centro have rest assured that our budget is not only balanced, but it is demonstrating a surplus. Thank you.
Anyone else would like to come?
I would just like to briefly say the city of El Centro now can see that everything is working in order, as we have been saying. And I'm excited because now I can go to sleep with a smile after both you and Adriana, both of you guys gave us good reports tonight. So thank you.
Well, Mr. Heath, thanks once again for the reassurance that we are in good financial health.
Yep.
So thank you.
Great. Thank you very much.
All righty. Okay, so now we move on to item number 15 to ratify a letter of support for AB 2757, the Southeast California Economic Region. And we have a presentation by Mr. Cedric Cesenia, our city manager.
Good evening, Madam Mayor. So item number 15 is a ratification of letter of support that was sent out after the city manager's office received a request in support of AB 2757, which focused on Southeast California economic region. This bill aimed to address shared economic challenges in the Imperial, Eastern Coachella, and Palo Verdes valleys by establishing an economic zone around the Lithium Valley. The region faces high unemployment, low median income, and a lack of infrastructure. AB 2757 attempted to maximize economic benefits by aligning state and federal funding and programs to support local development. The bill would have promoted collaboration between various agencies to improve these areas' economy and quality of life. The letter of support was submitted on September 17th, 2024. Unfortunately, on September 25th, 2024, the Governor Newsom returned AB 2757 unsigned, effectively vetoing the bill. The action still needs to take place as the letter was sent on behalf of the city.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Cesenia. And so next, we move on to item number 16 to ratify a letter of support to the Quetzalcoatl Fort Yuma Kitchen.
Mayor, I'm
Indian-
sorry, but I still need your vote on this one.
Oh, we still need a vote?
Yes.
Even though, well,
You haven't voted.
Yeah, they're all action
okay,
items.
action item, okay, all righty. Okay, and so the ratification is adopted 5-0. Okay, so item number 16, we then go on to a letter of support for the Quetzalcoatl Fort Yuma Cochan Indian Tribes request for a national monument designation. And again, Mr. Cedric Cesenia, our city manager.
Yes, Madam Mayor. The city manager's office received a request for a letter of support for the national monument designation for the establishment of the Quetzalcoatl National Monument as requested by Insipid Environmental Solutions. The monument would cover over 390,000 acres of the Fort Yuma Cochan Indian Tribes ancestral lands in Imperial County. The area holds cultural, ecological, and historical significance and could boost the local economy through increased tourism, job creation, and investment. The letter of support encourages the Biden administration to designate the monument to protect the sacred lands and benefit the region. The letter was signed by the mayor and submitted on September 17th, 2024, and it's presented before you for ratification.
Members, please vote.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
to staff. Mr. Cesenia,
Yes.
do you happen to know why I see the long list, and I just want to take a moment to kind of highlight in the backup a very long list of private business support for this, but what I don't see is support from governmental entities. And I was wondering, do you happen to know why that may be, or is it that they are just beginning to request support from governmental entities?
So I don't have the details for that answer. I would have to get back to you as to why is it that it's primarily being endorsed by private entities at this time.
No, I mean, I think generally it's a good cause. It's all hopefully, our colleagues and other governmental entities can join this.
I know that the city of Brawley is supporting that as well. Thank you. Okay, so that ratification is adopted 5-0. We move on to item number 17, a community sponsorship request from the Imperial Valley LGBT Resource Center for their 9th annual Imperial Valley Pride event. And then again, presentation by Mr. Cedric Cesenia, our city manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The city manager's office received a community sponsorship request from the LGBT Resource Center for their 9th annual Imperial Valley Pride event. Currently in the community sponsorship fund, we have $1,577. The city recommends a sponsorship of $500 for this event. For background, the LGBT Resource Center, established in 2015, provides services such as drug abuse, education, counseling, youth programs, and community support for members of the LGBT community in Imperial County. The particulars of the annual event of the 9th Annual Imperial Valley Pride event will happen on the 12th of October as it celebrates diversity, equality, and inclusiveness. It draws about 2,000 attendees, and the sponsorship will support local initiatives. Therefore, this item is before you for a $500 sponsorship recommendation.
Alrighty, so that request has been approved, 5-0. Rosa, thank you for being here. Okay, and so next we go on to item number 18, discussion and any necessary action regarding appointment to the Planning Commission to fill one scheduled vacancy with the term ending October the 3rd, 2028. Mr. Aaron Popejoy has served on the Planning Commission, and his term has come to an end, and he has requested to be reappointed, and we did not have any other applicants. And so at this time, then we will then reappoint Mr. Aaron Popejoy to the Planning Commission to serve through the end, excuse me, through October of 2028. Okay. And appointment of Mr. Popejoy is passed 5-0. And before we move on, I need to go back to an item that I skipped. Madam City Attorney, do you have anything to report on closed session?
No, Madam Mayor, there's no reportable action.
Okay, alrighty, thank you. And so we come to the end of our agenda, and so now we move on to task force reports from the mayor and the city council members. And let's see, can we start with Councilmember Carter? I try to alternate.
Oh, okay. We did have our hospital board meeting, and it's just by coincidence that a lot was canceled or rescheduled. Our film commission meeting was rescheduled. The lady who's in charge, her health is in question, so she had to reschedule at the last minute. So I'm looking forward to see when we're going to meet again, because we have a lot of pending assignments for the film commission. And also our task force to end homeless meeting was rescheduled as well. So, and then we did attend the Imperial County Division, the Cal City meeting. Very nice. I do believe that we had the most powerful bragging rights. Good job, Mayor. We did. We had a lot on our agenda. And I did stop by the farmer's market at the Tractor Supply. Very nice atmosphere. It was hot out there. I do have to give it to them, but they stuck it out, and they were out there, and it was just a lot of people that came by, and it was very nice. And just to see community joining together, very nice. And I am looking forward to being over there, Chief Bernard, Saturday. So see you Saturday. That ends my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Garcia?
I have nothing to report at this time.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember or Mayor, Interim Mayor Pro Tem Cardenas Singh?
Yes, just some of the similar activities. Our ECRMC Hospital Board meeting. We had our ICTC monthly meeting. We had our Friends of El Centro meeting, in which we have been discussing the possibility of partnering with the IID and working with Vice President Hamby on the possibility of a community garden. And so we're taking a look at a couple of community opportunities and neighborhoods in which that would possibly be a great fit. And why we are partnering with the IID is because they have access and opportunities to many more grants that we could be partners in. So I just wanted to share that with you. It is in the exploration process. Also had the opportunity to attend the Divine Design grand opening, and that was a beautiful event. El Grito, that was a great event as well. And it was my last meeting with the League of Cities Division meeting, and it's been my honor and my pleasure to serve as the second vice president representing our city council members across our county. So thank you for that. That's the end of my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Oliva?
Thank you, Madam Mayor and colleagues. I was fortunate enough to attend a wellness program event with city staff, and where they played Loteria. They got together, It was a potluck, and so everyone made something, but there was also a salsa contest, and so city staff came out
Who
and really
won?
just kind of, yeah, who won? What's her
Who
name
won?
again? Sara, yes. So
Ah.
she was featured in the the newsletter that we get from Cindy every week. So there's this portion there where they took her picture and there's photos of the event. It's really great. I highlight that because I think that when we talk about our employees and how great they are not just doing the work, but they take the time to really kind of foster that collaboration, that spirit of family amongst themselves. And it's great that they offer that to anyone that wants to participate. And so it was great. Gus, thank you for calling out the Loteria cards. And I had a great time. And so it really just kind of takes you out of the work mode, gives you a really mental health break, right, from all the stress. And so I appreciate that. As mentioned, there was an event in collaboration with the Consul de Mexico and Calexico to celebrate the Independence Day of Mexico, El Grito, hosted by the city, again with the consulate. And so thank you to Adriana and her team, Gus, and your team for everyone putting it together. There's a lot of behind the scenes folks, right, along with our public safety that are there to make sure that folks are safe and that the event is just seamless. Also mentioned there was an Ivy Regional Chamber of Commerce event since we last met, where they were able to recognize small businesses and contributors, stakeholders from throughout the valley that have really given back to the community. We also had an Imperial County Division meeting, as mentioned, League of Cities, where we elected a new division president, division first vice president, and second vice president. And I know that she wouldn't brag about herself, but we have our Madam Mayor, who is now the first vice president of the Imperial County Division. So congratulations to you, Madam Mayor, for leading us in that regard. And lastly, I just want to, I know that Chief Bernal may have mentioned it, but just a selfless shout out for your open house this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. 10 to 2. All right. I'm going to go ahead and look at Mario for the calendar invite that was wrong.
Oh, my gosh.
Thank you, Chief Bernal. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Greatly appreciate
And it will literally be a hot event. Okay, so. All righty.
Thank you, colleagues.
So let's see, and when you mentioned the Consul of Mexico and our collaboration with them to present El Grito, I was invited to attend a going away for Mr. Tarciso Navarrete, who was the consul here in Calexico for a few years. And so he has been reappointed, but we also had an opportunity to meet the new consul, Mr. Ricardo Hernandez. And so very pleasant, individual. He's quite a character. So I enjoyed, just chit-chatting with him for a little bit. And so he was also at El Grito out at Buckland Park, and I have to commend all of the team that was involved in organizing that event. I think that it was a tremendous outcome. We had so many vendors. The music was fantastic. And then I also want to state that Public Works and all of the team did a fantastic job of the cleanup afterwards. And I know that we had a letter in the Voice of the People in the newspaper commending the city staff for the great cleanup. They were out the next morning walking at Buckland Park, and it looked like nothing ever happened there. So, shout out to all of the team that was involved with that. And so let's see. I had mentioned earlier that we were at an event last night. It was a group of philanthropic leaders, that traveled out here to hold a convening session. And so I was invited to welcome everyone to El Centro and Imperial Valley. So that was, it was nice to be able to speak one-on-one with some of the state representatives that were there, and they were very interested in our Helping Hands program. So, I actually was speaking to a representative from the state that oversaw the Home Keep program. So Yeah, what a coincidence. I should be talking to her, but let's see. And then I go on to what is coming up. I would like to invite everyone to attend our Coffee with the Cop, which I believe is happening tomorrow morning from 8:30 to 10 a.m. at the Starbucks located at the corner. Oh, has it been relocated, Mario? I thought it was at the 4th Street Starbucks. It is. Uh-huh. Yes. Okay. All right, Mario, that's two. So, so this is a crucial moment to foster positive and formal interactions between our public safety and local law enforcement. So we invite the community to come out and have a cup of coffee on, it's their treat. So I'm sorry, what was that? Oh, no, they'll probably just have the little sample cups. Yes. So I would also like to congratulate the El Centro Library for the new literacy program. I'm unfortunately I was not able to attend the grand opening ceremony today, but they are located at the community center, which is out on at 375 First Street. And literacy is important because it provides essential resources and support to help individuals improve their reading, writing, and communication skills, empowering them to succeed in education, employment, and everyday life. So again, congratulations to our library director, Ms. Carla Mason, and on all of her team for this fantastic accomplishment. So we would also like to invite everyone to attend the Jacaranda Gardens Apartment grand opening, which is happening on Thursday, October the 10th at 10 a.m. It is located at 1625 West Waterman, just right across the street from the fire station and the First Responders Park. And these apartments are more than just a housing development. They represent a beacon of hope and opportunity for our community. It's exciting to see this vision come to life, bringing much needed affordable housing to our families and helping to build a stronger, more vibrant El Centro. And I know that there are 96 units in that complex. Mrs. Nava, have we filled all of those units, or has Chelsea filled? And do we have a waiting list for those as well? Wow. So this Saturdays are, again, our fire station open house, and I won't go into any more details because I know that Councilmember Oliva stated what the correct time would be. And lastly, I would like to invite you to our Senior Appreciation Day event, which will be held on October the 10th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Sports Pavilion. You can dress as your favorite superhero and celebrate seniors with fun activities and entertainment. And then, last but not least, my State of the City address. It will be held on Tuesday, October the 29th at 6 p.m. at the El Centro Library's Community Room. And I'm really excited to share with you some of the great accomplishments that we've had, including a healthy, balanced budget and a safer city with lots of economic growth. So look for more information about all of those upcoming events on all of our social media pages, City of El Centro. All righty. And so now I pass it over to our city manager, Mr. Cedric Cesenia.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I attended the same meetings you guys did, so I'm not going to bore everybody. Additionally to that, a national night out is still ongoing tonight, right, until 9 p.m. So if you guys had an opportunity, go out to Buckland Park. I don't know if Mario messed up that one up too, but sorry, Mario. I love you, man. Anyways, that's all I had, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Boy, it's Mario's evening this evening.
Mayor,
So
before you,
it is now 7:43 p.m. and our meeting is adjourned.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good
Mayor, we
evening.
also have a special meeting happening on Thursday at 5:30.
Oh, okay.
Joint
So
meeting with the planning commissioners.
yes, so just in case that you didn't hear, our city clerk, Mrs. Norma Wiles, a special joint meeting of the El Centro City Council and the Planning Commission day after tomorrow, Thursday, October the
To talk about the
Third.
South Imperial Avenue improvements.
Yes, at 5:30 p.m. here in
5:30
council chambers. And the main topic of conversation will be the complete streets plan for Imperial Avenue, and Mr. Angel Hernandez, our Community Development Director, will be presenting. So please tune in or come and join us. Thank you.
You don't need to worry about it. It's just.
Good evening.